Halo, halo. Eh, halo semua. Jadi sekarang mau main si Furina Story Quest ya. Nah, jadi waktu itu sempat ke-trigger gitu kan Story Questnya sebelumnya di Catherine habis selesai Archon Quest. Jadi terakhir si Furina udah spoiler ya, bukan Archon lagi. Dia bukan kabur sih, kayak apa ya? Kayak minggat lah, udah caw. Terus resenya abis gue trigger Catherine, dia kagak balik-balik aja. Tadi pagi kan gue daily terus jadi kayak di sini terus. Gue dailynya harus ke Inazuma anjir. Tuh gue expedition rewardnya kagak bisa, makanya nyobain tadi. Hari ini kemarin gue udah ambil sih ininya, flower ya dikit sebenarnya. Terus nggak tahu hari ini udah ada belum, coba gue cek bentar. Lu tau gak sih waktu stream sebelumnya kan gue bilang dikit nih, cuma segini doang. Anjing, ternyata ada lagi di sini. Gue belum buka. Jadi mari kita buka sama-sama. Nah, jadi waktu itu di sini kan talent material ya, bukan talent, ascension materialnya Furina. Ya udah nggak ada. Besok kayaknya respawnnya. Furina gue kita lihat statusnya. Ini gue kemarin sedikit mancing, cuma nambah 1 doang refinement ya. Terus ya lumayan lah ya. Tuh udah mau 30.000 HP-nya, which is harus segitu katanya. Ininya lumayan juga sih. Not bad lah gitu. Sama ini udah 6. Dia ngedrain banget lah HP-nya. Ngedrain satu party, buset. Yang gua nggak expect, ya, gue dapet Charlotte anjir. Jadi kan bintang 4 waktu nge-wish waktu itu. Waktu nge-wish kita sambil buka ini deh. Gue nge-wish kan kayak bintang 4-nya tinggal 2 lagi, 2 wish lagi 10. Terus udah gue nekat lagi, terus gacha 2 kan. Dapet anjing, gue seneng banget. Terus gue nggak expect ternyata dia healer anjir. Healer sama sub DPS. Enak banget mainnya tuh. Kayak unik gitu. Suka sih gue. Tapi belum kebuild aja, masih level 60 anjir. Iya, kesini. Seneng banget, gila. Gue dapet Charlotte. Tadinya udah kayak coping gitu. Ya udahlah. Ujung-ujungnya dapat. Kita buka dulu. Kayak stream gue waktu itu gue bilang cuman 1 doang. Yang statue 7-nya ternyata ada 2 lagi. 1 lagi maksud gue. Ntar gue ganti dulu. Ini party waktu gue ngejelajahin doang. Daily gue sebenarnya masih pakai, bahkan udah nggak pakai Riceley lagi, udah pakai si ini doang. Gue cuma pengen naikin dia doang. Nanti Riceley sama Furina sama Charlotte katanya cocok ya. Kayaknya. Nah, kan sekarang siapa? Tetap Riceley lah ya. Ini ada dia nih. Kita ambil chestnya dulu. Roar.
Order guide you. Stabilize.
Nice and spicy. Everybody stand back.
Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Stay cool. Face
Ada yang mau diultiin? Udah. Oke, selesai. Mata gue gatel anjir.
This wasn't locked. How convenient.
Betul. Gue kebanyakan kagak ngerti anjir itunya. puzzle ya. Ntar gue cek dulu streamnya. Wih. Hujan anjir, wifi-nya jadi agak-agak nge-lag. Jadi mohon dimaklumi ya. Nanti mau upgrade wifi baru katanya. Semoga aja jadi improve. The world opens itself before those with noble hearts. Tuh, lumayan gede anjir ternyata. Take it all back deh. Ini quest gue belum. Males world quest mah kagak ada suara. Sekarang ayo kita Furina. Oke, dapat achievement. Yaudahlah, kita Furina aja yuk. Ask about Furina's disposition. Di mana tuh? Besar banget anjir si Catherine, bukannya balik. Sayapnya ya ampun. Minggu depan dia udah dapat. Sini kah? Di mana dia tinggal ya?
Did Catherine really give us the right address? She lives here?
Oh, deket ya sama
Not that
teleport.
there's anything wrong with this place. It's just a bit of a step down from the Palais Marmonian.
Anjir, Paimon nge-shame. Shame on you, Paimon.
You know, it's common courtesy to make
Oh.
sure the homeowner isn't in earshot when you're denigrating their abode.
Mhm.
Okay, when did popping on the thin air become all the rage? First Catherine and
I was just out on a shopping trip. I ran out of macaroni, so I went to grab a few more bags. I used to have a much wider range of choices when it
Dia
came to
lebih kalem
food.
ya sekarang.
But now I'm finding that simple, traditional home cooking can be quite delicious too.
Did you get sick macaroni? Didn't you get sick of macaroni?
Not at all. As long as you have different kinds of sauces in, you can have macaroni and tomato sauce one week,
Betul sih.
macaroni and bolognese the next.
Gak salah.
oh, sounds like you're really struggling to cope.
Is it because you have to do all your own cooking now? Oh,
How rude! Questioning my cooking skills. The audacity!
bukan si Raiden ini ya. Si
It's
Furina.
not like I have a very eventful life these
Hujan
days.
guys.
Actually, I
Hujan
barely leave
besar.
the house. So I don't see how it's unusual that my meals are a little simpler now too. Besides, I'm sure I could master dishes like la lettre faucilor or blubber profiteroles in no time if I felt so inclined.
Ah, there it is. You don't know how to cook.
Not yet, maybe, but... Anyway, what are you even doing here? I do hope you didn't come here just to ogle at my fall from grace.
Hmm.
Let me first be clear that I'm not taking guests at this time.
Sorry, we're sorry. Please don't be mad.
Paimon was just showing concern for your well-being. Oh,
Yeah, exactly what the traveler said.
sok peduli si Paimon teh.
In front of you. Hang on a sec. You weren't exactly holding back either.
We actually came here to ask you for your
My
help.
help? Well, maybe you're forgetting that I'm no longer the mighty Hydro
Oh, dia belum
Archon.
ada vision ya.
I don't even have a vision.
Padahal waktu kita gacha udah ada. Spoiler.
Don't worry. It's nothing that serious. It's just very specific, and you're the one with the power to help.
Nanti kayaknya berarti dia dapat nih. Semoga aja ya. Kasihan amat anjir. Langsung jadi kayak manusia full. If not you, if not you, then no one.
Oh? Well, if that's the case, then fine. I'll spare you the lecture about your attitude just now. So tell me, what specifically makes this matter so
Specific.
specific? I see. I knew you couldn't have come all this way just to amuse yourselves at my expense.
Rumahnya
After
gede
all,
juga anjir.
I was
Apartemen
once
ya.
the brightest star in all of Fontaine, well versed in all the various performing arts. A mere music, but given the present circumstances, I'm afraid I must regretfully decline your casting request.
Kenapa tuh di decline?
How come? It sounds like this would be a breeze for you.
True, but I have made a decision to retire from the stage.
Fancy juga ya dari penampilannya bahkan.
Although I am no longer required to play the role of the Hydro Archon, the time I spent inhabiting that character has left an indelible mark on me.
Kasihan amat.
Centuries of pretending to be a different person changes you completely. I'm not the same person I once was. Of course, that can't be undone now. It's too late, and I have no intention of reinventing myself all over again. But at least I can say that I no longer desire to play any new roles.
Capek anjir selama hidupnya kayak main karakter. So that's how you really feel.
But this is just a one-off part to fill in for someone who's sick. Surely that's okay.
Whether it's a one-off or not, it's a boundary that I've committed to no longer cross. If I make an exception to the rule now, I'm just leaving a back door for myself, which would be the same as not having a boundary in the first place. So I'm not going to perform, and that is that.
Okay, guess there's no convincing you. Well, is there anything else we can do to help out the troupe? Otherwise, they'll just have to disband without any fanfare. Do you know any other actors
Fanfare
who might
tuh
be
apa sih?
interested in the role?
Siapa coba katanya? Lu aja anjir Furina.
Short and to the point, okay.
I've never been great at maintaining relationships.
Oh,
Besides,
sir.
anyone I've ever worked with probably couldn't wait to get rid of me.
Fanfare itu ceremonial tune. Jadi yang dimainin lah ada lagu-lagunya gitu. Yang kayak biasa trompet perkenalan gitu ya. Itu fanfare.
Since I'm just an ordinary person now, they'll probably just laugh in my face if I go asking them for help.
What's wrong with making one
Look, I'm sorry,
exception?
okay? I'm sorry I drew a line in the sand without thinking about every possible grain on the other side.
Well, is there anything else we can do? This performance really means a lot to the...
Have I not made myself clear?
Ngamuk tuh dia.
You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't want this job, nor do I know of anyone else who would. Sorry. I didn't mean for that to sound so harsh. I wish I could help, really. But if I thought I had the answer to this problem, I would have said so by now.
It's all right, Furina. Paimon just wanted to make sure we tried everything. Oh, yeah, I guess that's all we can do now. All right, then. We'll see you around, Furina.
Toodaloo to you, too. I'm going home to take a rest now.
Ya, Furina menolak. Ini katanya udah balik lagi nggak nih? Gedek banget tuh anjir.
It's too bad, but we have to respect
belum.
Furina's decision.
We have to respect Furina's decision tuh katanya.
Huh? What's going on? Are they arguing?
That's besides the point. I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement without my consent? When did I tell you I'm going to take a step back?
Ayo lo ngabok dia.
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now? We know the signs. But you never tell us about your illness, even when it's clearly flaring up.
And that gives you the right to make a decision on my behalf?
Ngamuk yang mau digantiin anjir.
Shortly after you left, the troop's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. She believes that she's healthy enough to perform. Excuse me, but can you both take a moment to discuss something else for now? The adventurer assigned to your commission has returned.
Sorry, I was just dealing with a little misunderstanding. So, how did your conversation with Furina go?
Sadly, it's a no from her. We tried to persuade her, but she wasn't having it. She doesn't want to play the role for personal reasons.
I see. Well, circumstances have changed a little, so maybe that's not such bad news after all. You see, our leading lady has just informed me that she's well enough to make it to the show after all. Staging the musical with the full original cast was always the dream, of course.
Oh, right! Sounds like everything worked itself out then.
Imagine if you had managed to convince Furina to join. Iya,
She'd be
biar seru.
livid. We'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Jeez, is Lady Furina really so harsh with people?
Only joking, calm down. So, guess we can consider this case closed now. Despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brains for ideas on the way back here.
Look, there's no point arguing with you about this anymore. You've made yourself very clear, so I'll stop looking for a replacement. This is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up again, there won't be time to find anyone to replace you. So, are you absolutely sure you'll be able to handle it? The whole team is putting everything they have into this final performance. We have to make sure it goes.
Yes, I'm completely confident. I've been taking a new medication from the doctor, and it's working brilliantly. I'll definitely be able to tough it out until the performance day. I share everyone's desire to commemorate all our years as a troupe with a proper farewell show. So the last thing I want is to be left out. Every one of us thinks of this troupe as their home, myself included.
You're right. I'm sorry. I let my...
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on.
Lemon, wait here for a second katanya. Ada Furina. Oh, nguping ya Furina.
Hey, how did you... I was just passing by because
Kenapa tuh?
I realized I forgot a couple of items on my shopping list. All right, I'm coming. No need to drag me.
Agak mau si Furina teh.
Hello, one and all. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation.
Furina? Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest at home? What are you doing here?
I was just ever so slightly concerned about the situation you mentioned. Yes, a teensy bit concerned, that's all. When you came to talk with me earlier, I jumped right to explaining my position and said some strongly worded things. And all before I even had a full grasp of the situation. Anyway, I just feel a bit bad about how it went down. I'm sorry, Paimon.
Oke. Oh, Furina masih ada feeling juga ya ternyata.
Oh, it's totally fine. Paimon didn't take any of that personally.
Then why didn't you just show up yourself?
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions, don't you? I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse, you caught me. But in any case, it sounds like the issue has already been resolved.
Yeah. When they said they were gonna ask for your help, I almost had a heart attack. I mean, how could we be worthy of having Lady Furina star in our
Masih
show?
dianggap Archon gitu atau gimana?
There's no need to think like that. And no need to keep addressing me as lady. Just Furina is fine. I was wondering, if this troupe is so important to all of you, why does it have to disband?
Si Furina jadi down to earth banget anjir.
If the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor, for instance. Everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you keep chipping away, you'll find a way through.
We all want to believe that, but some things are just beyond our control. Everything's been going downhill ever since we lost our director. She was the heart and soul of our troupe. She kept us going.
Furina nih jadi
Her
direktur ya.
name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the artistic director of our troupe. And tragically, she was a victim in the serial disappearances case.
Oh,
What?
That's actually how I recognized these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice. But still,
no
no sentence can
sentence.
bring our director back to us.
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Miss Furina. They were what
Mhm.
first inspired her to get into musical theater. She rallied many people around her who were destitute or had lost their sense of purpose in life and convinced them to join her troupe. She wrote her own scripts, acted on stage, and mentored each and every one of us.
Slay.
People loved our performances back then. We seemed to be going from strength to strength. Things were really looking up for us.
And then disaster struck.
Yeah. After that, the entire troupe fell into disarray. None of us know anything about script writing, let alone how to handle the business side of things. We've been doing the best we can. But despite our efforts, things are slowly but sure. It's agonizing. But ultimately, we'd rather end things now on our own terms than stick it out to the bitter end.
Oh,
That's so sad.
What a terrible waste. A gifted artist from humble beginnings who achieved so much, and no doubt, I suppose it's
Oh,
fair to say
kepencet anjir.
then that this final show, besides being your farewell to the stage, is also your final gift for her?
Yes, exactly. We all miss her terribly.
Well, good thing I followed the traveler here. After hearing this tragic tale, I can no longer stand by and do nothing.
Wah, agak slay.
Furina.
I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set for myself. Besides, they're no longer looking for a replacement anyway. I can, however, provide some artistic guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced audience member.
Jadi konselor dia. Lumayan lah.
But only if you feel this is something that would help, of course.
Oh, most definitely. We'll take any guidance that you can give.
We unfortunately don't have any budget for a consultant, though. Will that be a problem?
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more about the life and work of your late director. Something I've begun to realize since my departure from the Opera Epicles is that there's a lot you don't see when you observe everything from on high. The law only judges criminal behavior and does not weigh human emotion. The court's verdict can settle the question of criminal liability, but what about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to them?
The verdict can bring emotional catharsis.
An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all emotion shall ultimately return home to the heart and slowly settle with the passage of time. Take, par exemple, how this troupe pines for their late director. Things such as this I have never witnessed before. And so...
Still a fan of your old dramatic monologues then,
Mhm.
huh? You just want to get back in on the action, don't
Paimon
you?
nyolot anjir. Bener-bener.
No. This is a completely different situation. Pearls before swine.
The name's not Swine, it's Paimon!
Would you be willing to join me?
Si swine.
Come on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
Since it's you, I'll do it. Yes, especially since it's related to the serial disappearances case.
Thank you all so much. The
Slay.
director was a huge fan of Miss Furina's performances, as of course we all are. All right, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space. Please.
Geluduk-geluduk. Anjing di mana nih? Harusnya gua itu dulu. Caterin dulu ya.
I once considered keeping
Gue
some
belum
pets in my office,
login
but
anjir.
soon gave up on the idea. It's just not right to keep small animals where they won't be able to see the sun.
Login dulu guys. Diingetin sama si Hoyolap. Kita bisa masuk. Kayaknya gue nggak pernah deh masuk ke sini. Pernah nggak ya? Gak pernah kayaknya gue bilang. Iya gak pernah. Wah lucu.
Lady Furina?
Masih banyak anjir yang ngefans. Gue kira kayak pada ngamuk-ngamuk gitu, kayak pada najis gitu jadinya sama dia.
What's Lady Furina doing here?
Hello all. Allow me to explain. As of
Bagus lah,
today,
masih pada respect gitu.
Miss Furina will be supporting our production of The Little Oceanid in the role of artistic consultant. These two over here are the ones that made it possible. They kindly reached out to Miss Furina on our behalf. I'm sure they need no introduction.
Yang serial disappearances itu tuh yang kena itu nggak sih? Yang water itu apa ya namanya, gue lupa. Yang waktu Archon Quest atau lain lagi ya?
You bet that was the trial of the century.
You helped bring our director's murderer to justice. We
Oh
can't
iya,
thank you enough.
berarti yang waktu itu. Yang pada jadi Oceanate gara-gara kena air.
Oh, please don't mention it. We're just here to join in on the fun.
So, you were saying The Little Oceanid?
Yeah, that's the name of our final show. It's an unfinished script left behind by our director. One of our greatest regrets is that she never got to complete it. So, if we can bring it to the stage and make it a successful show, we can all take some solace in that.
Okay.
Wait, but if it's not finished, then...
Finding an actress was the least of your problems.
Yeah, we've been battling issues on every front trying to realize this dream. Anyway, let me give you a quick summary of what the protagonist of the story is a young Oceanid who transforms herself into human form, despite the protests of her family. She longed to live just like any other human, and sure enough, she found friendship and even love. Everything seemed perfect.
Okay.
But one day, her true
true-
identity was
oh.
exposed, and her world came
So far, so good. A classic tale.
Di situ?
What happened after that?
That's one of the issues we've been trying to deal with. Unfortunately, this was as far as the director got with her script. We need a proper ending so we can
Gantung
bring this
gitu.
musical to the stage. But people have different opinions on which direction to take it in.
We still haven't decided between a happy ending or a true-to-life tragedy.
By true to life, you mean the director's sudden disappearance?
Yeah, like they say, truth is stranger than fiction. But then there's the question of whether we really want to use the stage to pass our raw pain onto the audience.
Exactly. A lot of the time, people come to watch a show just hoping for some light entertainment. We have to consider their emotional stake in this, not just our own.
Gue dari tadi ngedengar bunyi dek gitu. Gue takutnya tiba-tiba banjir anjir.
And one last thing. We're still waiting on confirmation from 2 of our main actors. The first is Paulo, who plays the protagonist's lover. He's locked himself away to focus on writing an ending for the script. But the deadline's passed, and we still haven't heard from him.
Kacangin anjir. The ghosting sama si Pauleo.
The other is Villemont, who plays the main antagonist. He took the director's death pretty hard.
Oh,
Hasn't set foot in the city since.
ya, terus dia.
He did write to us, promising that he'll be there for the final performance, but we haven't seen or heard from him since. So we're not really sure what to make of that.
Huh. Although, now that we have Miss Furina helping us, maybe we should take the opportunity to get everyone back together.
What opportunity? What do you mean?
Maybe you're unaware, but your name has always been like a rallying cry for us.
Our director was constantly singing your praises. All of us look up to you as a role model.
Oh, stop! You're making me all flustered. Although, not in a bad way. I suspect the reason they're dragging their feet is that they have their doubts about whether the show will really go ahead, considering all the issues you've been facing. But one by one, all the obstacles are being removed. Now is the time to rally the troops.
Makes sense. Okay, priority number 1, let's check in with Paulo and see where he's at with the ending.
Paulo namanya.
He went back to Poisson a few days ago. Said
ke
that staying in a
Poisson.
friend's home might help him to relax and escape the feeling of isolation.
I thought the last thing his friend would want right now would be to take visitors, given that Poisson was flooded not too long ago. But I guess it's the opposite. A friend in need and all that.
Yeah, maybe he could use some.
Whistle.
Ya, merasa bersalah dia.
Nothing. I suppose my presence will be indispensable if we are to restore his faith in the show. So, allons-y. To Poisson!
Ini kita ke Poisson. Let's go to Poisson. Let's go to Poisson.
If I remember correctly, this is where he's staying.
Tok tok tok.
Who is it?
It's me. Is the script ready?
You came all the way here for that?
Alright. Forget that for now. Just come on out. We've got some great...
Nice try. Look, just give me some time, okay? I'm just wrapping up this last part of...
Okay then. Looking for...
So, as expected, he's missed the deadline.
The ending is one of the most important parts of the show. Even once he's done, it isn't final until we've all had the chance to read through and make sure we agree on it.
Someone told me they'd just seen you in Poisson. I assumed it was a case of mistaken identity, but
Navia
sure
datang.
enough, here you are. And
Gue pengen kaca Navia
I
anjir.
was wondering if we might run into her.
so you're here for Paolo? Looks like he could be a while, so feel free to take a stroll around town in the meantime. I've made all the arrangements already.
Oh, it's okay. We can just wait here.
Thank you for being so considerate, Miss Navia. That sounds wonderful. We'll take that stroll. Get over here, you! How oblivious are...
Oh, pada tahu.
How are things in Poisson now? Any better?
Things are on the mend, but it's a slow process. Some people may never recover from the trauma they experienced.
I'm sorry to hear that. I wish...
Please, Must our conversations take such a depressing turn every time we meet? We all have painful memories, but we don't have to let them cloud everything we do. And if you're trying to make a new start, perhaps it's best if you don't bring up the past all the time.
Navia got a point.
Thank you for your words of comfort. You make a very good point. But for now, at least, I think I should stay with the way I'm feeling for a while longer.
It's okay. These things take time. Moving on from a painful experience is easier said than done, which brings me to why I'm here. I thought you should probably know that not everyone here is ready to forgive and forget after the Hydro Archon's inaction in the face of catastrophe.
Hydra Archon, Furina bukan. Ada dua masalahnya deh. Yang satu yang pura-pura, yang satu beneran.
To avoid upsetting the peace, I told the townspeople that everyone here is a member of the theater troupe, and that you are just an actress playing the role of Furina.
Oke, selesai anjir Navia, bener-bener.
It's not a perfect solution, but hopefully it means you won't have to lie low while you're here.
Bukan salah Furina gitu intinya kan. Kasihan juga, yang salah si Hydra Archon which sudah di
That's so thoughtful of you, Navia.
Well, what do you expect? I am the courageous and considerate president of Spina di Rosula, after all, like my father before me. Anyway, that was all. Look after her now.
Thank you.
Off we go then.
Geluduk.
Let's take a look up there. I don't have any friends that I can be frank and honest with, so maybe she's right. You're the closest thing to friends that I have.
Udah habis dituntut dia. Kenapa tuh?
I'm so grateful that Miss Navia
Tebal
was
dia
so
ngeliatnya.
understanding.
Sedih.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. As I was saying before, I want to see for myself the things that I never could in the past. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. But they're more likely to unleash a tirade of vitriol against me. Which, of course, I completely understand and accept.
I'm sure some people didn't buy Navia's lie. Oh.
Yeah, I can tell people are watching me. I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful. I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people, especially when they had suspicion or resentment. I guess I wasn't quite ready for this after all.
I'm not surprised you're making yourself go through all of this.
Me too. It's not like you. Maybe I've taken a bit too much in one go.
I can't let myself see only the things I want to see. How would that make me any different from before?
Look! There seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
They're not staying quiet either.
Probably time we made a move. How about we check out Spina di Rosula's ship? We should have a view of the whole...
Let's go. Dapat padi. Gimana gua ke atas ya? Halo? Kok nyasar? Salah jalan gua anjir. ya. Oke. Tragis gitu lagunya.
I'm sorry. You probably just wanted a relaxing stroll, and here I am dumping all this heavy stuff on you.
We don't mind. It's actually refreshing to see a different side of you.
Great. Well, I appreciate your company, so please don't disappear just yet. I don't know whether you can tell, but the years of suffering and loneliness aren't the only reason I have a hard time facing up to who I used to be. As I stand here by the ship, I can't get the images of the rising water out of my mind. One after another, people were taken by the water. All those treasured lives and memories washed out of existence in an instant. They thought their god would protect them. They had absolute faith that when disaster struck, a divine power would save them from harm. And all the while, I played my part to perfection to convince them that was true. But then the floodwaters finally came, and the Hydro Archon did nothing.
You shouldn't look at it like that. You were only doing your duty.
Don't be so harsh on yourself.
I've had to go through so many moments like that for the sake of protecting the truth. As time went on, it got harder and harder to bear, and I became more lonely and isolated. Eventually, I realized I had nothing left except the truth. I became terrified of completely failing in my task, and was haunted by the thought of being left all alone, weeping on my throne. Fortunately, we were able to avoid the worst. Everyone rose to their responsibilities, and I finally regained my freedom. But on some level, freedom also means no longer being needed. I have no further use to people.
Paimon would have never imagined you'd see it that way.
Reward?
Because now you can finally speak your heart. Tuh bener. Gak usah.
I guess so. Back then, I didn't even dare to dream about having someone to confide in. I was scared of someone recognizing me for who I truly was, and exposing a secret I swore to believe in the Furina you see on stage. She is the one you can trust. I had to keep all my feelings, all my curiosity about life to myself. No one could be allowed to know. That's what I really meant when I said I'm no good at maintaining relationships.
So that's where you were coming from. Paimon totally thought you were just a bit of a diva at heart.
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today. I'm making an effort here. You could at least try to do the same.
What Mama meant to say was, she doesn't like to see you so low down.
I do. I once had nothing but the truth, and now I'm finally free to live my own life again. And even though I have no idea where I'm going right now, at least the choice is in my hands. All right, it's about time to head back. Paulo should have finished the...
Sure! Okay, let's head back and check it out.
Let's go. Go back and find Plato. Mana si Plato? Palau deh kayaknya namanya. Siapa ya? Lupa deh. Gue bacanya Plato.
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat? You're supposed to be cutting down on fried foods, not wolfing down copious quantities of fish and chips.
Come on. It's not every day we get to dine at Spina di Rosula's expense. Can you believe how generous she is? I'm not about to pass on free food. Anyway, my character doesn't need to be slim and good-looking. That's your job.
Are you kidding me right now? It's not your character's health I'm worried about, it's yours. I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch you willingly ruin yours by filling yourself up with junk all the time.
Oh no,
What's
looks
aiming?
like they're arguing again. We're back! Could you maybe put your differences aside for a moment?
You're back. We've been enjoying Spina di Rosula. Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much longer.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right? We heard
Me? I'm an Oceanid too.
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he outgrew that role. Well, the costume at least. So now he's playing the boar instead.
Oh. Paman para
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one
Ah,
who
dia ketawa
raises the
tapi
little Oceanid.
kagak
yes?
ketawa.
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines too. Like when he imparts some solemn words of wisdom to the little Oceanid. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Wait, that sounds kind of familiar.
It's the most important line in the whole script. I think it's a symbolic statement about our director's life and legacy. She kept quiet about all the trials and tribulations she faced in running our troupe, allowing us to devote ourselves fully to performing. It was only after she was gone.
You mentioned earlier that the troupe is like your home.
Yeah. I was born with an incurable illness, and once my family found out it couldn't be treated, they decided they didn't want me anymore. I spent some years taking whatever work I could find and trying to manage my illness with various medicines. But whenever I had it was like that until the director found me one day. She told me I had a great voice and asked if I was interested in studying singing from. She took me under her wing, taught me to.
She sounds like a really incredible.
She really was. She gave everything she had to her troupe and the people in it. All of us were so proud to call her our director. I was a lost child too when she found me. As the child of a murderer, my parents weren't around. The other kids were always picking fights with me. They'd say things like, "Come on, you must be pretty tough if you're the." One day, I got beaten up so bad that I just couldn't take it anymore.
Let me go.
Yeah, for the first time in my life, I was somewhere I felt safe. And I promised myself I'd stay here until the day the group parted ways.
The day you hoped would never come.
Oh, you're finally done? Get
Oh,
your butt over here. There's
yang
someone I
buat
need to
itu.
introduce you to. This is our new artistic consultant.
Furina? The Furina? Oh my god, how did you manage to wrangle that?
Please, the honor is all mine. I was profoundly moved to hear about your troupe and your wonderful director. I just wanted to do something to help.
Same here.
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'll try to calm down. Ah, yes, the script, of course. Let me give you a rundown of how the story unfolds in my version of the script. I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. A little Oceanid decides she finds love and friendship in the bustling city. But then, the people start to notice that all the fresh water in the surrounding area is slowly disappearing. The soil is becoming arid. Plants and flowers are withering, and the people begin to panic. The little Oceanid, Cleo, and her lover decide to do something about it, and investigate the truth of the matter to get. In the end, They discover that all the waste and pollution created by humans over the years has caused the fresh water to flee the land, as if driven.
Consciousness? You mean the water is sentient?
Water as a conscious entity. There's...
Since the little Oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. She then tells her lover about her true identity, as well as the truth behind the crisis. Her lover accepts her for who she is, and works with her to find a way to bring the water back. However, unbeknownst to them, there were some people eavesdropping when she revealed the little Oceanid is accused of being directly responsible for driving the water away, and faces the greatest dilemma.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice herself to
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain? Why would she want to save them?
Well, she mainly wanted to save her lover, plus everyone who'd stood up for her.
Through her love for her human partner, she was able to find an even greater love. One that extended to all of humanity. Surely the biggest strength of Cleo's character.
There's actually something else that bothers me. You know the protagonist is supposed to represent the director, right? And she never had the chance to become a hero in our world. If we're serious about dedicating this show to her memory, we should make the ending as true to life as possible. What about if the little Oceanid is hounded to death by people who hate her, her lover makes sure her secret never gets out, and humanity continues down the path to extinction?
That sounds like too cruel of an ending to me. And perhaps a little irresponsible to present to the audience.
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director Aureli's death, both arbitrary and meaningless. On the day when she went missing, Director Aureli had instructed us all, somewhat out of the blue, to leave the court of Fontaine and wait for her outside the city. We waited and waited at the rendezvous point, but she never came. By the time we returned to the city, she disappeared without a trace. We looked for her. The Gardamex looked for her, but she was nowhere to be found.
The director was the kindest soul in the world, yet she was senselessly sacrificed for the sake of a so-called experiment by someone who had nothing to...
But doesn't the way she suddenly told you to leave the city suggest that maybe she had some sense of what was about to happen? It almost seems as if she was moving you to safety.
I've been trying to follow up on that ever since, but all my efforts so far have turned up nothing.
Villemont? The one who's playing the role of the villain?
Yeah. He's been overwhelmed by grief. I think the director's death hit him hardest of all.
Grief? Guilt, more like. Also, I have a hard time imagining that anyone took it harder than me. Because, well, speaking of the play being true to life, I was deeply, madly in love with Aureli.
What? You kept that one quiet.
It's time to be upfront with you all. No more keeping secrets from each other. We'll never be able to agree on the ending if we can't be honest about how we feel. I did tell her how I felt once, but she turned me down pretty much straight away. She said that we were all like brothers and sisters to her, and she never considered us as potential romantic partners. Not that it came as a shock or anything. It was what I was expecting to hear. I said, maybe one day in the future, when everyone's settled into their own lives and on the up and up, and managing the troupe no longer required her constant attention. Well, maybe then she could reconsider what she really wanted in her life. And now, that day will never come.
Oh, Paulo.
So if I'm the one writing this ending, then I'm gonna make sure it does right by Aureli. I won't let anyone get in the way of that.
In that case, you have to straighten things out with Villemont once and for all, face to face. We've all had our differences of opinion over the ending, but those two have never seen eye to eye on anything. One of them has to compromise if we're ever going to reach a final decision.
Well, if that's where we're at. Looks like it's time to go visit Vilmo.
Are you ready to face the truth?
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. But for the sake of our final performance, I'll do whatever it takes. Funny you should ask, though. You really do get what I'm going through right now.
I certainly do. Come on, everyone. Hello, Z.
Halo Z. Tanya apaan anjir? Halo Z. Artinya time to live katanya. Atau to start a new activity. Oke. Main Genshin nggak cuma main anjir, belajar juga.
This is tough going. Delphi, are you sure you can manage in your condition?
I could ask you the same question. Try to keep up.
Keep up. Ada
I
selang.
think this journey wasn't tough enough already without a roadblock.
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here. Wait, why
We're just curious, that's all. I don't think anyone's ever seen.
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her power so it could be converted into indemnitium. Miss Furina said so.
Precisely. And I'm not even the Hydro Archon anymore, so all my power is gone anyway. As much as it pains me, unfortunately, I should just stay put. I'm more like a damsel in distress.
That sounded so smug. Ugh, secondhand embarrassment is unbearable.
Iya apaan sih? Saya salah bi. This doesn't require a god level powers. Don't you know any self-defense?
Hey, lay off, all right? My bluff is hanging from a thread here. I'm sorry. I got carried away. Please help us out, would you?
Aw, too bad. I was so pumped to feast my eyes on fight
Gue
mode
juga anjir.
Furina.
Belum dapat vision tapi dia.
Sorry to leave all the heavy lifting to you.
Don't worry, piece of cake.
Gather!
Let's light it up! I'm going in!
Guba, get them!
Wait now.
Ya, dua-duanya api.
I will have order.
I will have order.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire!
Untung ada Shangling.
Bravo! Good show! You certainly live up to your reputation.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
Vilma, are you there?
Oh, dia ke Vilmone.
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what's Lady Furina doing here?
I can explain. We've been rounding up the whole troop. We now have everyone except you.
So, you think knowing the truth about the director's disappearance will help you write an ending to the script that pleases everyone? I care just as much as everyone else about making the Little Oceanid a success. That's why I wanted to wait until after the show. If I open this can of worms now, I just don't want to make things difficult between us. We're supposed to be a unit.
Vilma, avoiding the truth will not help anyone unless you
Tuh,
mean to
bener
suggest
tuh,
that
kata Polo.
Aureli's death had something to do with you.
I don't want to talk about it.
Listen, Vilma. I used to think that my love for Aurelie was a
Jadi
proof of
Aurel
shame.
itu yang
I could brought
direktornya
it
ya.
up to anyone. But now, I've made up my mind to put it all on the table. I'm prepared to face everything, to sacrifice everything for the sake of the show. The Little Oceanid cannot be complete unless we do justice to Aurelie on—
This is why people think of you as not being the smart one. As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales, but donations from the audience. We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even then, the troupe's financial situation was pretty dire. So, anyway, one day after a show, a merchant came to me and offered us a huge sponsorship. In return, we just had to provide the audience with their drinks during performances. It seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot without consulting the director. It was only the drink in question was synth.
Synth.
Isn't that the drink paddled by the culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
I freaked out when I saw the boxes. And I told the director everything right away. She was completely shocked as well. But she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. Instead, she contacted the merchant and stated that the troupe could not agree to this collaboration. The merchant was furious, berated us for going back on our word, and threatened to sue us for damages. The amount was—
And then?
I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said that this was an issue for the whole troupe and it wasn't my fault. But things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up, and then suddenly the director told us all to leave the city one day. I knew then that I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared, I was even more afraid to say anything. Yeah, I got Aurelie killed. There, I said it. Happy now?
Hey, don't say that.
You traitor! You knew Aurelie was in danger. Why in God's name didn't— What do you mean? You were afraid. This was a life and death situation. We could have saved her. How could you be so stupid?
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Yeah, listen to him. You need to
Stay calm? How can I stay calm? This guy got Aurelie murdered. She was the love of my life. And he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake of the show. How about taking some responsibility for what he's done?
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I wanted to apologize to everyone in the troupe, but that won't bring back the director. I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back. Beat me up if you want. Kill me if you prefer. It's what I deserve. End my life. So I can meet the director and apologize to her in person.
Get out of my sight. Go, get lost. I don't ever want to see your face again.
That's enough! You've screamed and shouted at each other for long enough. Now pipe down. Can you stop conflating the show on stage with your real-life relationships in the— You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your director and celebrate her life. How can you do that if you're just using it as an excuse to vent your own emotions?
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's attention. And you're all used to seeing the director as the heart of the troupe. But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be the center of attention. I can tell how much she loved you all. What she wanted was to build a warm home for all of her brothers and sisters. To shield you all from the storms that I understand why you're trying to make her the hero of the story, but isn't she your hero already?
Yeah.
So think hard about what that means. And then think again about what you hope to achieve by arguing with each other. If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, then you could just call it quits now. Why bother with the final performance if the group is already fractured? But you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? You care too much about Director Aurelie and the home she built you all to let go. What are you laughing at? I don't see what's so funny.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that for a moment there, it felt like our director was back with us again. If
Furina
she'd
kayak
seen Paul and
direktornya.
Gaumont at each other's throats like that, she would have scolded them exactly like you did, and that's...
Really? But she sounded like such a gentle person.
Of course she was. Even her harshest lectures came from a place of kindness, and it showed. She really was a truly outstanding...
What you said, it... really...
I'm truly sorry. I really meant for this to be a genuine apology, but... I ended up making it all about...
It's all right. Let's save all this for after the performance.
So, the ending. What are we gonna do about it?
Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what really matters. When emotions are running high, things get lost in the fray. The end of the story needs to focus back on Aurelie herself. She's the true star of the show.
It might actually be possible to find out more about our fate.
What do you mean?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base and recovered items belonging to the victims. If you could find anything that Aurelie left behind, perhaps we can get a better sense of what she went through in her final days.
You really think that's possible?
Of course.
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story being based on Aurelie's true feeling.
No.
Oh, lagi mau ke tempat.
Well, we'll leave this in your capable hands.
Come, let's pay a visit to the Palais Mermonia. The rest of you, head back to the rehearsal location for now, and wait for our good...
Suruh ke Palais Mermonia. Wah, ketemu Cindy Villette nggak nih? Apa itu lagi? Ngopong lu anjir gua. Gak ada di Villette. Gue kira ada.
You want to review some recovered items connected to victims of the serial disappearances case? But, that case has been closed for quite a while now. Still, since you were the ones who discovered and submitted the evidence in the first place, you don't actually have to submit an application. Okay, please hold on. I'll have some...
Sedian.
So, this is all Aurelie left behind. Just...
Hey! It's full of script lines! And sketches too!
Look, let me take a look. Maybe there's something in here from after she was kidnapped. Aha! I found something. To whoever discovers this diary...
Oh, ada diarinya ketemu.
Let's see. Looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. She even mentions the truth behind the experiments on dissolving young women. If we'd had the chance to examine this notebook carefully back then, it would have been a conclusive piece of evidence.
Lachey took so many lives. It's still so unthinkable how many victims he had.
Oh, jadi dia tuh victimnya si Fasher.
I guess Aurelie must have written all of this down in the hope that her records would one day be of use to investigators. Wait, it cuts off.
Is something
Her
wrong?
handwriting here gets patchier and more illegible by the line. She probably didn't have much strength left. Her final words are...
I'll let you read them for yourself. Apa tuh katanya? Wah, kepanjangan. Someone else was taken, that make me sick. Or perhaps the seventh, someone tried to escape yesterday, but was caught. She hasn't been since... Oh, since he... Jadi ini ada orang yang nulis kayaknya. Was that yesterday? Maybe not. I've long since lost track of time. Sorry, I don't know if writing this is of any use or how much longer I can do it for. I can already see my fate approaching, but what terrifies Even more is the thought of seeing others from the troop here. Have I truly protected them? Alright, I'm sorry, I can write no more. Oh dia deh, si Aurelinya ya?
She was so
Gue
terrified.
kira orang lain. She watched a girl get dissolved right in front of her.
She may have been a mighty hero in the eyes of her troop.
It's it.
At the end of the day, I can't bear to think how painful and lonely her final days must have been. Wait. This...
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want? Because I am another sister to them. I love them. Siapa tuh?
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You
You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this still what you want?
Isn't that the most important line in the Little Oceanid?
Because I am an older sister to them.
Oh.
So she didn't regret her decision. Even as she sat in silence, waiting for death to come. I'm sure this is what the troop would have hoped to hear as well. She had their utmost trust, admiration, and love, and she truly deserved it. Let's go. It's time for them to learn Director O.
Geluduk-geluduk. Ding. Cepet ah. After reading through the notebook, some are lost for words. Some weep bitterly, and some grind their teeth and howl with rage.
She deserves a hero's farewell. If that's the only way to convey to the audience the courage and selflessness that she showed in the face of death, then it's a meaningful way to end the story.
Even in the last moments of her life, she was still leaving a trail for others to follow.
She did her best to protect as many people as possible, even if it meant sacrificing herself. We know what choice our little Oceanid would have made now. I don't think any more discussion is necessary. Well, Vilmont, if we put the past aside for now, do you think you can bring yourself to go ahead with the show?
I will channel all my regret and put it into my performance, to make this a show worthy of our director. I won't ask for your forgiveness, and you don't need to worry about my feelings. This final farewell show should be about Director Aurelie and her alone.
Then it seems like we've reached a consensus. I have a feeling that this will turn out to be the most mesmerizing performance of your lives.
Really? How can you be so sure when you've never even seen them perform before?
Don't underestimate my experience. If you want to move the audience with your music, you must fully commit and immerse yourself in your role. Pouring all and aren't human emotions, love, hate, regret, and hope, just the most mesmerizing things in this world. I don't believe anybody could be more committed to bringing this story to life on the stage than they are now.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Miss Furina. And thank you for supporting us through all this.
Then, let's not delay things any longer. We need to discuss the details of the ending and get it nailed down once and for all.
Let's go.
Before that, I'd like to make a proposal. During the curtain call, please allow me to use the director's name instead of my own.
Huh? But then...
After all, this role was originally meant to be played by the director. I'm just filling in for her. Besides, a role commemorating her life should be associated with her name.
Well, if you're sure you're okay with that, I have no objection to it.
Now we're talking like a serious acting troupe. All right, I'll leave you to fine-tune your musical while I go and procure a stage.
Procure a stage?
Oh, it's okay. Our usual place doesn't need a reservation.
That place? Oh, don't be silly. For an extraordinary show, we need an extraordinary stage. By which I, of course, mean
Opera Epicles.
Whoa, wait, what?
Of course.
No, that's never going to work. It's far too fancy for the likes of us.
What are you afraid of? Surely you don't think that Aurelie's story is unworthy of the grandest stage in Fontaine.
No, that's not what I meant.
It is supposed to be your grand finale, right?
Go big or go home.
I have no problem with it then. How about the rest of you? I'll take your silence as a yes. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. It really is a dream come true.
Well, then don't disappoint me. If you mess this up, it'll reflect poorly on me too. Come on. We'll need to get the go-ahead from Nervilette. I know just where to
Yes,
find him.
let's go. Kita ke Naga. Di mana Nervilette? Gue kira dia di kantornya.
Hey, look at that. Looks like I guessed right.
You were just
Menjedok dia di situ.
I knew you'd be here.
I'm here merely for a short break. It has been a while, Miss Furina. And you too, traveler in Paimon. What might I assist you with today?
I would like to book the Opera Epicles for an event. You see...
I understand. The process for booking the Opera Epicles is complex and can be somewhat cumbersome. But given that the request is coming from the three of you, I see no reason to make things unduly difficult. The story of the little Oceanid is most fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing... I will say, however, that I am surprised to see your passion for the performing arts rekindled after all that has happened.
Huh? What do you mean? Do I look excited?
Yes. And this is the first time that I've seen you like this since your departure from deityhood.
At first, I just felt bad about rejecting them. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about their situation. But one thing led to another, and... well, here we are. In the past, we sat in our high chairs in the court, giving our opinions on isolated cases, all while knowing very little about the human stories behind each and every one. Maybe it's because I finally become an ordinary person and gained my freedom, but I've developed a great sense of curiosity about their lives.
I am truly delighted to see you find a new lease on life. Now that you've regained some confidence, have you had any thoughts regarding a return to the stage?
Why would you suddenly ask a question like that?
Well, if the Little Oceanid turns out to be a great success, it will no doubt become a classic. Many theater companies are certain to add it to their repertoire. The experiences and decisions of the protagonist, Cleo, are all modeled after your own. Naturally, this makes you eminently suited to playing the leading role. It would truly be a shame if you did not take this opportunity to allow audiences to enjoy your outstanding acting talents once more.
Haven't I already made myself clear? I won't act or perform in any role ever again. No exceptions. Nor do I think it is any great shame. There is no lack of fine actors or inspirational stories, either on or off the stage. This experience is a case in point. I feel like I've learned a lot, and it has already been well worth the price of admission. I must admit, though, I'm a little envious. They're quite fortunate to be able to bid farewell to their past in such a magnificent manner.
I see. Well, I'm glad to learn that you have found a role to play that you enjoy, be it on the stage or not. I sincerely hope the show will serve as the grandest of finales. I will have my staff book the date and mail the relevant paperwork to the troupe once the details are confirmed.
Thank you, Nivelet.
You are very welcome.
You're very welcome. Bolak-balik anjir. La.
Good news, everyone. It's done. The Opera Epiclese is booked. Thanks to my eloquent and impassioned speech, Monsieur Neuvillette was moved to provide us with a fitting stage for this special performance. We've had to fight every step of the way for this opportunity, but we now have all of the ingredients necessary to stage a truly spectacular performance. A touching story, a magnificent venue, and last but not least, a passionate and dedicated cast. Now, let's work together.
This is truly wonderful.
The sooner we can finalize the ending, the more time we'll have to rehearse. Fiamma and I just went over some parts of the script and tweaked a few things.
Wow, you two had a constructive conversation? That's
Communication is vital to any good performance.
Look at us. We've come so far.
Udah sama gitu ya
I
mereka.
never could have pictured this scene a few days ago.
It's amazing. Even though Furina's still being a bit of a drama queen about it all, she's really fired.
Emang nyolot banget anjir sama Furina dari tadi. I'm really looking forward to the final production.
Please feel free to give us any comments or suggestions you have. We really value your input.
Hey, Loic,
Okay.
get over here. Time to practice the opening number.
Apa deh? Loading screen-nya keren juga. Oh, lagi rehearse gitu ya ceritanya.
That cursed Cleo. She stole the waters of life from us. She's a fraud, and she must pay for her crimes.
This has nothing to do with her. The ignorance and hatred of our people is to blame. How can we hope to win back the water's favor if we don't change our ways?
This guy could be useful. Take him hostage. If Cleo wants him back, she'll have to show herself.
Leave this place, oh little Oceanid, and never, ever look back!
Everyone's really throwing themselves into their roles. I haven't seen such a fine performance in a long time. If only...
What should we do? It's almost time for her to take the stage.
Why
Oh,
does it have to
sakit
be
ya tiba-tiba.
now?
Hey, what's going on? You're due on stage any second now. Oh no, not again. But why? What about your new meds?
They've been getting less and less effective over time. I've had to keep increasing my...
What? I thought they cure it. So they were only managing your symptoms?
I figured whatever it took to get me through this final performance.
How could you do this to yourself? And after that lecture you gave me about not looking at...
I'm sorry. I've let...
You...
Miss Furina?
Say no
Gantiin,
more.
gantiin.
If you're sick, you need to rest. Loic, your character has no more scenes, correct?
Oh, yeah. I think my scenes are all done. Although, I do have one more line. But I guess another guy in the troupe with a similar voice...
Please take Delphi back to her place to rest. I'll sing the finale.
Oh, dia nyanyiin.
From the sublime to the ridiculous. After all that, everything's come full circle.
Thank you, Miss Furina. I'm so sorry to put you in this position after everything you said.
Never mind. What's done is done. It's really my own fault for getting in too deep. No one likes regrets. Myself included. Leave it to me. I've watched you rehearse so many times that I've learned Cleo...
I do not doubt your acting skills, but please allow me to ask just one more question. After all, this show is what, in your opinion, is the reason Cleo shines so brightly?
It's her pure heart. Despite all the pain and loneliness she had to endure, she never once stopped believing in the beauty in this world.
Well said. I leave Director O'Reilly in your hand.
Dimainkan sama Furina. Let's go. Oh, comeback dia.
Is she here yet? Once they get here! She's not coming! You're wrong. She's here.
Wih, Furina mana dah? Nyanyi dia.
What about your wish?
My wish...
If you become human, you can reveal your secret to no one. You will face suffering and loneliness. Is this truly what you want?
Wah, itu visionnya ya anjir. Wow, good performance, bitch.
Is it just me? Or was that Lady Furina on the stage just now?
Baru nyadar gitu.
She hasn't been seen for a while now, and she just appears out of nowhere. Gotta say though, her acting skills are as superb as
the little Oceanid, Cleo, played by Aurélie Fumont.
Wait, that's not her name. What's going?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a doppelganger.
I've spent a lot of time out of the spotlight, and they didn't use my name during the curtain call either. Hopefully not too many. It's too bad that I had to break the one clear rule I'd managed to make for. Still, I have to admit that it felt good to be back on the stage again.
Finally, we would like to give a special thanks to our artistic consultant and event coordinator,
Whoa.
Miss Furina.
Yeah.
That's not what we agreed on.
Oh, so it was Furina after all.
She's back.
Honestly, what is he doing? He should have run that by me first.
Udah curhat gitu ya Furina.
Calm down, don't be mad. This was a group decision. We just didn't want your contributions to go unacknowledged.
Tuh, betul. Si Pola aja tahu.
After all, it's been the rule in Fontaine since ancient times that everyone's work, visible or invisible, is equally deserving of recognition.
Yes, I know the rule, but it should still be applied on a case-by-case basis. I wasn't ready for this yet.
It's no big deal. What's the worst that could happen?
At most, you might be asked to sign a few autographs later.
Oh, yeah? Well, since you think it's so easy, you can sign them for me.
This is a great chat and all, but can we talk about that crazy thing that happened during the show? It nearly gave Paimon a heart attack. Paimon flew over to where she was supposed to be and was about to drop the prop vision, and then suddenly, a real one dropped down his
Oh, ada vision beneran.
That.
Tuh, dapat vision dia.
I've
Gila.
got no idea what happened there either. I'll bet the audience has never seen such a realistic prop.
Wait, what about Dolphy? I wonder how...
Let's go check on her as soon as we finish clearing the stage.
Dia dapat nggak sih visionnya? Aku jadi bingung.
Yes. Plus, she'll definitely want to hear how the end of the show went. If nothing else, we can safely say that we accomplished what we set out to do.
Gelap banget anjir layarnya, buset. Lupa Dolphy siapa ya? Dolphy sama Lawik. Oh itu yang sakit anjir. Tolong ya. Lupa coba gua.
You're back. She's doing okay. Her condition stabilized after taking some of her original medication. From experience, though, I'd say she's...
How did the performance go? Was it a success? Did the...
You'll be glad to know it was fantastic! Also, you're not gonna believe what happened while Furina was on the stage! You'll probably be able to read all about it in the Steambird first.
That's wonderful. I'm so sorry I failed to see it through to the end. I guess I was wrong to try and tough it out to begin with.
Don't worry about it. Like they told me after announcing my name during the curtain call, everyone's work deserved. Even though you couldn't see it through to the final scene, the audience was very impressed by your performance. It's safe to say that you made your mark on this memorial show.
Well, one way or another, we did it. I've had bad luck ever since I was born, so I never expect things to go smoothly in life. I'm just happy to know that we went out on a high note. That's all.
Blaming your bad luck again, are we? Maybe if you didn't push yourself past your limits so much, your illness wouldn't be flaring up all the time.
Oh, don't you start. I
But
don't
lagi
have the
dah.
energy to argue with you right now.
Aw, you two clearly care a lot about each other.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You mean we never stop arguing with each other?
So, any plans? After the brilliant performance you put on, the reputation of your troupe is sure to spread through Fontaine like wildfire. You won't have to disband if you don't want to. You could capitalize on the rave reviews and license out the Little Oceanid to the bigger theater troupes out there. That would do wonders for your finance.
No, we should still disband.
Yeah, it's what we all agreed to.
After all that's happened, I should give you guys some space. But maybe...
Hey, don't just walk off!
I still want to keep performing, so I might join another troupe. After watching Miss Furina's performance, I think I'm starting to understand our director's infatuation with musical.
You should do it. It suits you. I'd originally hoped to keep performing too, but I don't know if my health will allow.
Oh, so now you finally got your priorities in order. I guess I'll hold off until you've properly recovered as well. What about you, Miss Furina? Any future?
Well, frankly, I think a return to obscurity is no longer an option for me. I'm sure a slew of consultancy requests will hound me wherever I go until I finally acquiesce. You rather seal my fate there with your special thanks at the end of the show.
Sorry.
It's quite all right. No need to apologize. What I meant to say is that this whole experience has shown me that maybe Nervilette was right. Maybe Cleo is the right role for me. I still don't wish to pretend to be someone else, but I do have a desire to express myself. So, maybe the show will go on for me.
Just do whatever feels right to you.
There was once a time when I was an actress in a masquerade, seeking only to hide the truth. But from now on, I want to spend my time learning real stories about real people and how they touch. I want to watch them blossom and wither, see them refined on the page, retold on the stage, and I'm sure this is what captivated director O'Reilly as well.
Sounds like you're ready to stop running from your true calling. The more you get out into the world, the more you'll discover what a fascinating place it is.
Next time I'll invite you to join me. And it's the deal.
Is a gift from the gods, then I should do my best to honor it.
Dapat vision diajar waktu performance. Waktu perform maksud gua. Kok kita nggak pakai power dia anjir. Gua kira bakal kayak ke domain gitu. Ini apa ya? Kok ada dua sih? Kok malah ke Mondstadt lagi? Kita event yuk abis ini. Kita bos dulu kah? Boresin atau bos enaknya?
Ow! Where did that come from?
Bingung. Furina Charlotte lah dua-duanya. Yuk kita berantem. Pepper belum enak nih. Melawannya agak cepet.
Let's nip that in the bud.
Let's dip that in the butt katanya.
I see everything. Make yourselves a move.
And trap. I'll uproot you.
Gather!
Commit it to memory.
One with the force.
Suka jauh-jauh ya. Bahkan Strum. Duh. Terlalu banyak shield anjir. Utamain Kirara dulu gua. Lumayan dapat 3. Habis ini kita yang buat Charlotte. Charlotte enak anjir mainnya. Gue pengen naikin lagi. Ini mah pakai Linei. Lini atau Linei sih dia manggilnya. Gue lihat dari Twitter ada orang yang kebingungan. Coba kita lihat. Dia perkenalkan gak namanya.
This is no mere illusion. 'Tis I, Linny.
Ngaco ah. Berarti si kembarnya kali ya.
During our shows, I'm usually Linny is normally
Lini. Bukan Linei, Lini.
Stabilize!
Let's light it up! Everybody
Into the wind. Step right up.
Solidify!
Let's get this show on the road. And voila.
Jelek banget rotasinya. Hampir lupa ganti karakter. Ganti party maksud gua. Kita expedition reward dulu. Akhirnya Zikaterin. Ini tuh langsung ya. Begitu tipot dulu deh. Ambil koinnya enggak ya enggak. Akhirnya sebentar juga. Biasanya lama anjir kayak kemarin 5 jam gelo emang. Lama banget Arkon questnya. Ting 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 ting. Kita beli semua kali ya. Gak sabar nih gue ada tipotnya yang punya fountain. Ini enak nih sekarang tinggal deket ada cafe. Kalau dulu mesti scroll gitu jauh. If you ever have any question, oke, kita habis ini jalanin event dulu. Gua ada 2 domain yang belum gue buka. Sengaja buat stream. Tapi gua ke toilet dulu. Belet. Cepet-cepet. Ah, oke. Lalu ya guys, berebok. Imbak. Bentar. Sensory trial. Apa deh? Oh, Misty Dungeon ya. Ini kan yang lama ya. Oh, ingat gua waktu itu pernah. Bisa teleport juga ya. Dulu ada waktu anjir tapi 9 menit malas gua sebenarnya. Bisa nggak ada nggak ya? Oh, electro charge ya, gua kagak ada elektro. Anjir. Oh, harus karakter dari dia. Oke. Gimana gini? Selai sih gue bilang. Mendingan facial atau cross ya? Facial aja deh. Tak cek dulu screen-nya. Oke, selesai. Wah, lagunya enak nih. Wih, pemandangannya keren. Ada anjir, tapi 30 menit bego. Oh, apa deh?
Melusines are beautiful creatures. They are the pride of Fontaine.
Right here.
Right here. Emerge. Right here. Emerge.
As you wish.
You have not activated. Oh. Kok teleport mulu sih anjir, gua kagak ngerti. Oh, teleport masuk pintu gitu maksudnya. Oh, ini jadi suruh aktivasi dulu 3 gitu ya. Which is agak-agak optional sih katanya. Visual, terus let the mighty be humble. Ya udah, ini levelnya terlalu OP anjir, bener-bener. Terus balik, oh gitu caranya. Kalau dulu dungeonnya tuh dungeonnya agak-agak puyeng, kalau sekarang lebih enak sih. Teleport gitu. Jadi ada 3, oh itzy. Ngerti. Keren. Suka ya environment-nya.
Solidify. The tides beckon.
Emerge. Shadow Raven.
Settle down.
Seru anjir, udah mati tiba-tiba. Ini ada difficulty-nya gak sih? Kayaknya nggak ada deh. Satu lagi. Udah. Gimana sih? Udah ya 3-3-nya ya? Gue aja tidak menyadari gitu.
Right now, emerge.
Odd reveal.
Silence. Let the mighty be humbled today. Stabilize.
Suara apa anjir itu?
Right here, emerge.
As you wish, maiden.
New
Settle
plunge.
down.
Finally, some target practice. Spread your wings and raise a storm!
Gather.
Right here, emerge. Right here.
Shadow
Where do you think you're going?
A sight to behold. Right now.
Seru. Kalau event-event yang berantem gini mah gue suka banget anjir. Kayak santai, yang santai pastinya. Jangan dibuat stres tapi. Oke, seru juga ternyata. Kalau dulu lama lumayan karena bolak-balik domain bingung gitu kan. Ini apa nih sekarang? Charge attack. Jadi disediain sama dia biar gua nggak pusing sih partinya, nyusun partinya. Kali ini gue punya, which is lebih hebat. Jago ini mah. Oke, selesai. Enakan Kazuha sih sebenarnya sih yang link, tapi ya jadi kasih dia. Gak usah banyak cerewet. Belegak banget cutscene ini, nggak.
Stabilize. Let me try.
Boba, get them!
Take this.
Ya kagak siap ininya, ultinya.
Let's light it up.
What's one?
Yeah. Teamwork is trick.
Ah, surprise him!
Cheap trick.
Now disappear.
Ambil semua energinya ya. Jangan dibuang-buang.
Off we go.
Solidify.
Si abang es. Ya ini mah udah mati anjir.
And voila.
Buang-buang energi gua anjir. Untungnya penuh, hampir penuh energinya. Ayo satu lagi. Enak domainnya. High tech gitu lagi. High tech ancient gitu vibesnya. Belum anjir padahal ini astaga.
Here comes the finale.
Kacau. Bentar. Ujuk-ujuk baterai gua hampir habis anjir. Keburu nih. Mana anjir, astaga.
Nice and spicy!
Everybody stand back.
Kan belum, astaga. Astaga. Congli.
A round of applause. Step right up. Teamwork is dreamwork.
Charge attack-nya kurang ya kayaknya. Maaf nih, rotasinya hancur banget bener-bener. Kita harus ulang lagi. Charge attack-nya tadi 36 sampai 40 gitu, berarti gue harus bener-bener charge attack mulu. Iya gaya. Bener anjing. Ulang lagi. Terlalu OP supportnya juga. Harus berapa charge setengah 40 ya tadi? Bisa gue hitungin satu-satu aja.
Let's light it up! At the frying pan, it's and voila!
This isn't over! You win. Let me try my best. Solidify! Cut down.
Shit! Now disappear!
Oh total ya? Jadi gue main lagi. Oh ya udah nggak apa-apa. Ya bener tuh 2 kali dulu ya.
Everybody stand back!
You're toast! Nice and spicy!
Terlalu payah gitu si beruang.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Get them!
Flash Frost!
And voila!
I miscalculated.
Teleportasi.
Stabilize.
Eat this! Nice and spicy!
Let's get this show on the road!
This is order. Gather.
I'm going in!
Your toes.
Here comes the finale!
Step right out. 36 terus anjir. Untung total ya. Total nggak. Jadi masih bisa. Bukan in one game 40-nya itu. 40-nya itu total. Ya ya. Oh iya betul total. Oke selesai. Begitu karena gampang eventnya kita ganti yuk ke akun satu lagi. Kita main akun satu. Bentar, gue log out login berbek. Mari kita ke akun satu lagi. Akun satu lagi tuh setiap gue mau pakai resennya tuh bingung anjir gue. Makanya gue lawan bos aja deh. Padahal bosnya juga nggak tahu siapa. Yang buat karakter siapa juga asal aja main. Udah 135 level jinjir. Oh ini mah banyak. Gak gitu sih. Ini rahasianya belum anjir sebenarnya. Belum. Ini mah nanti gua asal tap-tap aja deh biar cepet selesai. Kita siapa nih sekarang? Resin gimana kabarnya? Beres. 3. Ya 3 lumayan lah. Kayak aja. Udah nggak tahu mau apa. Artefak aja kali ya. Artefak juga udah B aja gitu. Udah aman lah. Kita habisin resin dulu 3. Hari ini siapa? Coba kita lihat yuk. Ini lumayan sedikit sih. 3, 4, 8. 8 ini juga dikit. Tapi senjata juga kayak buat apa gitu. Agak-agak nggak penting. Empat 8, 27, 12. Udah ini aja bodo amat. Tadi gua habis ngelawan weekly boss yang baru yang lawan narwhal atau whale ya, nggak tau deh. Serem banget anjir vibesnya. Untungnya nggak annoying sih teleport, cuman nggak susah lah gitu. Just right. Kalau di sini mah di akun kedua ada New Village anjir si OP. Jadi anjir ini gue lupa. Gue kira domainnya yang di Fontaine, which is semuanya aman sama Hydro. Tolol deh gue. Cepet ah. Tapi ya, Lini kah? Lini aja deh. Let's go.
Solidify.
One with nature. Fallen leaves. Adorn my... Teamwork is dreamwork. Let's get this show on the road. Now disappear.
Order guide you. Stabilize.
The wind knows it.
Gather.
Everybody stand back. One with nature. And voila. Let's light it up. Now disappear.
Solidify.
I'm going in. A round of applause. Step right up.
My will have order.
I will have order.
Stabilize.
Stabilizer. Kabur. Tata.
Now disappear.
Udah mati duluan anjir. Si abis mage. Abis mage. Satu lagi. Cepat.
Solidify.
Ganti anjir.
Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds up. I'm going in. Let's light it.
Gather.
One with nature. Step right up.
Udah mulai ngaco rotationnya.
Here comes the finale.
Kabur. Ayo kesini.
The wind knows me. And voila.
And voila. Oke, Queen. Dah, abis itu kita domain. Mari kita domain. Ntar, expedition. Ini si kartu gangguin ya. Kita kartu dulu, guys. Udah lama gak ke Mondstadt. Tad Astra. Si Barabok. Si Shanha. Ya udah. Belum maksudnya. Kita blacksmith yuk. Begitulah keseharian AR60 gitu ya. Lama juga mainnya gitu. Apalagi kalau ada 2 akun kayak gue. Kalau yang bilang bosan mah berarti antara malas build gitu ya. Kalau gue kan sukanya action gitu ya. Jadi ya santai aja main ini. Ntar gue lupa mau ngapain. Oh ini si berisik anjir dari tadi. Bener-bener maksa main kartu. Gue gak demen anjrit. Gue main Genshin kan bukan main buat kartu gitu. Tenang. Apaan nih? Males ah. Jujur kayaknya dapat primo aja juga gue gitu mau deh. Ada siapa sih? Karakter Fontaine belum ada tahu ini. Oke. Tada. Now you want. Nah, di sini kan ada si Novella ya. Jadi pakai my characters aja anjing semua. Play Queen. Iya udah main tadi, udah tahu. Terima kasih. Kita ceritanya itu tuh. Apa ya yang di Minecraft namanya? Belum anjir.
No rest for the wicked.
Namanya speedrun. Mari kita speedrun. Kelamaan cutscene-nya gitu.
Right now.
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
Bow your head.
Goblok udah selesai.
The tide's beckoning.
Right here, right now.
Settle down.
That's close enough.
Right here.
On reveal dice.
Where do you think you're going?
Where do you think you're going?
Midnight Phantasm.
Emerge. Right here.
Stabilize. Let the mighty
Be humble.
Finally, some target practice.
bow your
Si bibu angin anjir. Gangguin dari tadi.
Stretch your wings and raise a storm.
Lebay lu cepet. Wes. 2 menit. Ya, lumayan lah ya. Atau lagi selain ini mah kalau gue speedrun senjatanya lebih jelek bisa dari akun yang utama gue tadi, tapi tetap pakai my karakter tentunya. Harusnya gue naikin Xiangling ya, nggak perlu deh, ada Kazuha bisa sebenarnya, apa naikin aja kali ya, lumayan.
solidify. Let me try.
Ngomong samurai.
Booba, get them.
Step right up.
Gather.
I'm going in. Let's light it up. Right hand.
What's one more?
Minat ambil, yes, gitu dong. Ambil partikelnya secepat mungkin.
Stabilize.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Huh? A round of applause. And voila.
Ini bisa 36 gak ya? Charge attack-nya. Baru 20 anjir. Kayaknya sengaja harus 2 kali deh. Mau gak mau.
Well met. Crisp. Flash frost.
I'm going in.
Killjoy. We've only just calculated.
Off we go.
Nice and spicy.
Let's get this show on the road. Step right up.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Let's
39 40. Nah gitu dong, selesai. And voila. Oke, hampir 3 menit, lumayan lah ya. 3 menit kurang. Bidi nggak usah 2 kali ngerjain orang bolak-balik. Oke. Akhirnya selesai. Kita ambil ini dulu, crystal ply-nya. Akhirnya selesai. Nggak kayak kemarin anjir waktu itu yang stream terakhir. Kagak selesai sampai gedek gua. Ambil dulu batunya nggak sih? Kayaknya abis ini rencana gue pengen coba stream di Twitch deh. Kita lihat perbandingannya lebih enak atau enggak. Kalau di Twitch nggak enaknya di YouTube harus diupload anjir kayaknya biar enak. Jadi kita coba deh. Dah. Sementara udah deh. Akhirnya nggak sampai jam 1 pagi anjing kayak kemarin, keren gila. Gue udah sampai ngantuk-ngantuk gitu akhirnya. Udah kan, udah selesai, semua udah selesai, beres. Jangan di air, rasanya pengap gitu. Dah. Akhirnya ke Genshin dan gue udah selesai. Kita berarti bukan terakhir nanti, mungkin kalau streaming biasa atau enggak, kalau enggak ada streaming biasa, berarti gue pengen stream gacha Navi ya, which is 1 bulan dari sekarang. Atau enggak nanti mungkin ada selipan stream gue explore biasa kali ya. Explore biasa. Atau enggak mungkin ada game lain. Nggak mau Tomb Raider, gue anjir capek. Udah nggak mau lagi Tomb Raider. Udah trauma. Mungkin gue main sendiri, tapi itu juga males. Udah dulu deh. Terima kasih. Hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.